What's up, guys? Me and Clint are here. Ryan's at work. Me and him were talking about a new segment we should do. Well, to put it bland, it's kind of a bland name.
Story time.
Yeah, story time.
Story time with friends.
But this is a new segment that I pitched to Clint since he's one of the not founders, but one of the main helpers in my channel, and it's just gonna be us talking about our hunting stories. And I kind of got this idea from Kenlin Gray, which whenever time he shoots his bow, he does story time about like stories, trapping stories or hunting or fishing stories. And I was like, well, why don't we do that and see if it gets some pretty good views? So Clint's gonna go first, and then I'm gonna go first. Then that's gonna be the video.
I'm gonna go first, then you're gonna go first.
Yeah, my logic is great. Leave me alone.
Alright.
What? Put the scene. How many years ago?
Alright, so I was probably like 7 or 8, and I was squirrel hunting with my dad just across the road actually from here. And he had my little .22. And of course at the age of 7 or 8, however old I was, I liked being out in the woods, but I didn't have any patience. So as we sit and wait, I'd sit there on my little iPod. I had this little iPod 4. I'd just sit there and play my games and crap. And, we're sitting on a fallen log, and there's a tree up like this. So this is the log, and then there's a tree here. My dad's sitting here, and I'm sitting here. And some deer are running across the hill behind us. And we're like, oh, cool, deer. There's like 4 of them. And then they run down the hill. We're like, oh, that's cool. And then they turn and start coming at us. And I'll never forget it. They start coming right at us. And my dad gets up and stands right behind this tree, and he's got the gun. They ran right by him. The one deer actually brushed the tree he was sitting up against. And they ran so close to me as I was sitting there on that log, I could have reached out and petted them. It was awesome. 4 of them. One was a buck.
How big was the buck?
I think it was like an 8-point. Yeah, it was decent sized. But, yeah, I always pick on my dad about hiding behind that tree and leaving me for dead. And every time we tell that story, he's like, I was not hiding behind the tree. I was protecting the gun.
Tactical retreat.
And I was like, sure you were, Dad. You were just scared.
Tactical retreat, boys.
And, of course, me being 7, I was like, oh, dear, yay.
Well, I'm sorry about this, guys. We can see in the camera right now that it is fading in and out. That's just because that window right there, and we tried blocking it, but...
Yeah, we hung a curtain up, but it's not like a dark curtain.
So, here, I'll try angling myself to be in it. There we there. Well, I'll tell this... which one? I pitched a couple stories to him. I'll let you choose.
Which ones were they?
Squirrel hunt, my first deer, or squirrel hunting. The second one is with the special surprise.
Do the special surprise.
Well, me and my dad were sitting out squirrel hunting. Where we live, Clint was explaining his story that the field's right here. Then there's this other property that took me and my dad.
You talking about Tatum's or Reddings?
Doug's. I was looking.
Redding, yeah.
Oh, you always call them Redding.
Yeah, I call it Redding's property, and you call it Doug's property. It's
yeah.
Doug Redding.
And well, I don't know how to put it correctly. It took us about 13. No, because we've been living there 2 years. So 15 years, people, to hunt this property that's 100 acres. No, more than 100.
Oh, yeah. And Doug, you gotta explain Doug. Doug is kind of a crotchety old man.
Yes. This is how he is. You ready? His dad has been living here for...
17 years.
17 years.
Won't let us hunt there.
Won't let them hunt up there. We move in. 15 years later, we get hunting rights over there.
Yeah, because they're his watchdogs.
Because we're our watchdogs. And the one reason we got hunting permission was on... Because Tate Joseph and Jeremy Joseph, my trap coach and his trap coach, were trapping there. We had no clue that they had permission whatsoever. So we come running outside, jump over the little creeks in front of the railroad tracks, and tell them to stop what they're doing. We're calling up the landowner.
I remember that. I was at your house when that happened.
Next thing you know, Doug pulls into our driveway and says, that was Tate and Jeremy Joseph. They have property hunts rights there. And he's like, thank you guys for watching my property all these years. And out of the blue, me and my dad were never expecting this. He said, you guys have hunting rights.
Oh,
there.
yeah, and you guys pulled out that little blue card. That way you had it all official when we signed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because at this point in time, I was around, give me a second, 13. Because I wasn't able to deal with
it was like 2 years ago.
2 or 3. And at that point in time, I got my hunting license. I really didn't want to get in trouble with the DC agent, and if we're out in the woods, I can show him the blue card. And I still have the blue card in my back tag, so if that ever happens, we don't have to, like, stay there for, like 30 minutes trying to get a hold of Doug. But, now back onto the story so you have some detail. We're sitting there. My dad has a 22. I have my 410 with me. Because I just love, my 20 gauge. We're sitting there.
Was it the Charles Daly?
Yeah, my Charles Daly. We're sitting there waiting for a squirrel, because during deer season we've seen about 5 squirrel, 1 gigantic squirrel, and next thing you know, out of the random, a nice 5-point buck walks up by us, and we turn over to it, and he was snorting, he was angry. My dad's like, we had no clue what to do. So my dad just starts shooting the 22 bullets at the trees around him to spook him away. He was still standing there, until my dad shot up higher and a limb cracked and fell right next to him, and he got spooked and he ran. And from that day, I still remember that buck, I think, was willing to charge at us. It was kind of scary to think that a 5-point buck was ready to charge at us.
Yeah. What's that buck that you call, Gigantor or something?
Oh. Now, this is...
What is it that you call him?
Mammoth.
Mammoth.
A couple years ago... Now, this is another story, but it puts in place why I want to keep on hunting up at Doug's. Couple years ago, or was it longer?
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 or 3 years ago, his close family, friend to his family, we consider him family, we call him Uncle Cuckoo.
Sure, yeah.
He was sitting up on their porch, looking out at Doug's. On the right top corner of it, he saw a big, huge, right? He said, huge buck with really big drop tines, I think. Drop tines. And he said at least had to be around a 20-point buck.
It was a big-ass buck.
And from that day, me and Clint have been calling him Mammoth, and he's been my prize I've been wanting to get. And my dad's like, Dustin, he's not going to be there. But I tell him, well, if he could get that big one year, and if he knows where the food is, he's still going to get big. He's still elusive. We have not got him, but I'm hoping we can get him in my lifespan.
Have you seen him since?
No, but I'm not saying this is him, but I've seen some big deer tracks that are around about not this finger, my middle finger, around this big, guys. I can't really show it in camera, but it was around this big.
It's 2 inches, 3 inches.
Huge for a buck. So, and I could tell it was not a doe because it was not heart-shaped. And I was astounded. I was shocked that I saw that. And that was actually this year's squirrel hunting up at Doug's. And it was only there was one print. No more other prints. That's the weird part. There's only one hoof print. So I think that's about it for story time for this segment.
Next time we'll have to do the attack at the tailgate.
Oh, yeah. Wait for attack at the tailgate. And should I tell them about the part where, which one? The squirrel hunt? My first squirrel and my first deer. Because that is a 2-part story.
I say you do the first deer. The deer one's better.
Yeah. The first squirrel is cool, but it's not as good as my first deer. So, I don't know what to do for an outro. See you guys later, or see you in the next segment, or...
No.
Because me and him don't really have an official outro for this yet. Now, me and him are going to try making one. But, see you guys in the next segment of this, or in the next video that's coming up. That will be posted Tuesday. Sorry, I'm bad with days. Tuesday night because
invest in a calendar, Dustin.
I do. Shut up. But because the logo challenge is still going on, go to my Instagram, Dustin Krieger, or hunting fishing with rednecks on Instagram, and vote. There's gonna be 2 posts that is just informing people to vote, and then there's 2 logos. Go with the logo that you think is the best, because that logo is gonna be my channel's logo until the end of my channel. Or unless if I find a better logo, then I'll put it up to you guys, but still waiting on that because there was a draw.
Yeah, it was a tie.
See you guys in the next video. Peace.